going to do some.
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead.
We're going to do some YouTube shout-outs
Remember,
here.
you got to put your finger up.
Okay, I'll put my finger up.
Not that finger, Melissa.
White Hunter, Rick Cohen, Ghost Hammer, and Bob Maycomer. Thank you so much for tuning in live.
Absolutely. Hey, self-defense and emergencies can happen to anyone, and there is no guarantee that the justice system will be on your side. Gun owners should have the coverage for the legal battle after your self-defense battle. While you protect your family and property, U.S. Law Shield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year with a comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. Bad guys don't take days off, and neither does our coverage. And guess what? Gun Owner Radio listeners, you can get a free T-shirt when you join. Just use promo code Gun Owners Radio at uslawshield.com. And if you happen to be watching our smiley faces on YouTube, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe button as well, and tell all your friends. Now we got Joe Drammissi. The blog topic today will be From Boo to Boom, the evil ghost guns. I had to do that for you.
Oh, that's good. That was a very good intro. I
thought you'd like that.
So, yeah, this is actually an idea that Michael threw out during the week. Say, hey, why don't you write about this stuff? So I thought, yeah, that sounds like a good thing to write about. So ghost guns are in the news a lot nowadays. Recently, the Democrats and the left want to ban them. The media just goes into a spell of the vapors when they hear about ghost guns and get all carried away with it. Criminals apparently can't do without ghost guns. So you see them a lot in the news, and I thought it's a good time to talk about it. I think Michael had a great idea. So we decided to talk about it a little bit. So the first thing is, I guess, what is a ghost gun? And essentially what a ghost gun is just a homemade gun that hobbyists build at home. I mean, that's really all it is.
No serial number.
But, well, yeah, and that's true. But again, you can't ban something that people aren't afraid of, and doesn't have a sinister name. So if you just say guns that hobbyists build at home, just doesn't sound impressive. But if you call it a ghost gun, so now you got fear, now you got danger. You could build up the ignorance.
Is that like assault weapon?
Exactly like assault weapon.
I was just checking.
And that's exactly the strategy that those people use. And you can see, I mean, all the last year, I mean, how much, look at what got accomplished through fear with all this COVID stuff. And it was just, it's the same exact thing. And, if you break it down, that's really all they are. And the fact that criminals might use them because they're not traceable. I mean, does everything have to be traceable? Is that what we live in now? Because the reality is you don't say, it depends on where you look, but some people, a lot of people on the left, the anti-gun people say, oh, there's a lot of crime, criminals are using them. But the reality is that not really, not that much. And guns are guns. People that are going to break the law can get a hold of guns. The only people that pay attention to the laws are the law-abiding people that aren't doing anything bad with the guns anyway. But just looking at, again, one of the things that the left always misses and they don't acknowledge is that a big part of gun ownership is the hobby aspect of it. I mean, yes, there's the self-defense part of it. Yes, there's the Second Amendment part where we're supposed to be able to protect ourselves from the kind of government that we now have. But the lot of it is collecting of guns. There are hobbyists that just like to build their own guns.
Or what about people like to self-load ammo?
Yeah, it's the same exact thing. It's another aspect of the hobby.
So I guess you could almost throw A.O. Sword in this, because before the ghost gun came about, what would you say the percentage of your customers that would literally come in just to buy parts and pieces so they could build their own gun?
Yeah, sure. I would say 1/2.
Wow.
Yeah, especially on the AR-15. We carry the largest, widest selection of AR-15 parts that I know of in the country in stock. You can go to a website and find a bunch of stuff listed, but what's in stock?
Mm-hmm.
We have just our wall of uppers has 40 different varieties of barrel on it. So I would say over the 10 years, maybe 80% lower for every 4 retail guns we sold by background check.
Wow.
We were talking.
We'll go ahead and talk about the 80% lower part too, because that one of the things you'll see again if you look in the media, they'll say ghost guns, a term used by the gun control advocates and people in the industry. Nobody calls them ghost gun, unless they're talking about this. I've never run into somebody that said, hey, I'm going to build a ghost gun. But David just mentioned the 80% lowers, which is what they're talking about.
Yeah, so it's a piece of raw material, either plastic or aluminum alloy, the same stuff that a Glock is made of, for example, or an AR-15, and it's unfinished. It's not a firearm. It's not regulated. You can't put together a gun with it. However, if you mill it out and drill it out and manufacture it, it can then be made into a gun with all of the other gun parts that we sell. And that was legal in California up till, what was that, 2018, yeah. We still sell those parts, the components. Matter of fact, we just started selling them again for the past year and a half since COVID started and the huge run on guns happened. We were not able to, we didn't have enough inventory to sell individual components as well as have enough left to
build customized
custom guns. Yeah. So as of 2 weeks ago, now we're selling parts again because the rush has slowed down. So if you're looking for bolt carrier groups or barrels or whatever.
So let's talk just a little bit about ghost guns for a second. So once you build a gun, you theoretically, after it's built, it should go back to A.O. Sword to get serialized?
Good question. So there is a legal method still left in California to build your own home-built firearm, and that's by getting Big Brother permission. You write to the DOJ and say, hey, I want to build this gun. Give me a serial number. They give you a serial number. They give you permission to build your gun, and then you're entered now into a registry. They do a background check on you, and then you can complete that build of that firearm using their number engraved onto the gun. Yes.
Okay, so I have to ask a silly question. So we do that. Let's say I build it. Do you have to shoot it first to make sure it's not going to explode or being safe before you put your stamp of approval on it, or is that even taken into consideration?
It's actually not. Often we're not even receiving the full firearm. We're just receiving the regulated part,
Gotcha.
which is the lower.
Where that has to have the serial number.
If they go through us and buy our parts, then yes, absolutely, we test fire.
So, and the other thing with that too, even with talking about the bans and things like that, like even with the laws in California now, they say, just the ATF just announced a little while ago that they said 41% of the firearms that were seized related to crimes up in LA were unserialized ghost guns. So, even with any kind of law or ban, it doesn't stop criminals. It doesn't do anything.
That's a good proof right there.
Yeah. And it's a shame too, because, that our agencies don't have much credibility, because even if you read the little blurb from the ATF, they're saying seized at potential crime scenes. What the heck is a potential crime scene? Anything is a potential crime scene.
So, I was at the Oceanside City Council meeting last week, and we got them to pass a measure, basically that they're going to write a letter saying, hey, we oppose HR 127. HR 127, a major component of it has to do with licensing. But it's way more complicated than that. Their brand new police chief came and said that in the last year they've had 108 incidences of some kind of criminal activity that involved somebody that had a firearm. And not one single incident was the firearm that the criminal had registered to him or her. Really? Not one single incident. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
This isn't working. It's not, it's all this ridiculous charade.
Is that right there with bump stocks?
Yeah, exactly.
I was just double checking.
For some reason, the criminals are not following the law.
That's what I told the politician. I said, dude, take all the guns away from the criminals, and I'll give you my guns after you've done it for 6 months. The politician looked at me and he says, you know how difficult that would be? There's no way we could do that.
Well, I think
that's what he said.
There's an old story from a police chief in Hawaii that was testifying one time, and he could not, in his entire career, remember ever using a registration number to trace a gun back to a criminal.
It doesn't happen. It's a myth.
It's a myth.
Anyway, check out Joe's blog. Go to SanDiegoCountyGunOwners.com. Click on the blog, and it is from boo to boom.
The evil.
That's right, but wait until tomorrow morning.
But wait until tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m.
We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.